What's poppin', people? This is MXAM Extra episode number 6. Thank you very much. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Mr. Paul Deespawn.
Yo, 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 what is poppin'?
Oh, God, I hate it. I hate it so much. And we have the one and only Mr. Matt P. Video. Matt, hello.
Hello, bruh. How's it going?
Yeah, this is a thing now, apparently, right? Bruh? What's this
I don't
about?
know how it happened, to be honest with you. I put it in your Twitch chat. You reacted very negatively to it, and so now it's a thing.
I'm not used to hearing you say the word bruh. That's why.
You didn't hear me say the word bruh. I typed it.
But I know you, so I can hear you.
Yeah.
So when I'm... What,
Is that what you do when you're streaming?
100%.
You can, like, anybody you know in your chat, you, like...
read it in their voice.
Wow.
Yes.
Well,
Dude,
I was in your chat last night and you read stuff I posted in my voice. It was the worst northern voice I've ever heard.
That's because I was planning out for the camera, but
Insert clip.
yeah, 100%. You feel free. 100%. I read things in your voice when you type it.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
That's cool. That's cool.
is it? I don't know. I thought it was normal. Is that not normal?
Yeah, it's normal to me.
I don't know.
Huh. Interesting.
Huh.
I'd never. Oh, this camera's about to fall. Sorry about it. So super unprofessional podcast right here. I'd never thought about it. I just sort of do it.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I've never thought about it either. So there we go.
Yeah. The thing is, as well, I'd say probably 70% of my Twitch chat I've probably met in real life, from one event or another. So yeah, if I've met you, I can. That's why I think jokes come across better on Twitch when you know the person, right? Because ultimately, even without the capper, like you understand the person's tone. When you have like some, Slayer 6927 comes in and says your mum, you're like, who the fuck you talking to? Like, I'll beat your ass up, Slayer. I don't know who you think you are. But yeah, so this is MXAM Extra anyway, so we're here to talk about video games. It hasn't got to be Xbox related, and it probably won't be this week because I've been playing a bunch of video games. But if you want to support the show financially, head over to patreon.com/mcfixer, and make sure you check us out on the podcast feed. If you're watching the video, you can watch it. You can listen to it as a podcast on the My Xbox and Me feed. Still debating whether we're going to move it off of there or not. It's kind of been a trial run as for now. The response hasn't been terrible. But we'll still see. Who knows? Boys, what's been in your box this week? Matt, we'll start with you because you've got a game that I can't wait to hear you talk about. So
I'm so excited. This is like my next Artful Escape. This is a game I'm going to evangelize and none of you are going to play. I know this isn't the game you thought I was going to jump in on.
Fuck's sake.
But a PC only game that Emma found on TikTok and is fucking brilliant. Like if I had played this in the year it came out, there's no doubt it would have been in my top 10. It's called The Little Guardsman, Little L-I-L. It is Papers, Please meets Baldur's Gate, and it's fucking brilliant. You are a 12-year-old girl in charge of a guard tower gate at the big main fantasy city.
Yeah. I remember this being shown. It's got shown at some showcase. I remember seeing it.
Maybe, but yeah, like, so it's absolutely brilliant. And you decide whether or not you're going to let these magical creatures and people into your town or not. And stuff starts to escalate really quickly and it gets pretty intense, weirdly, for the art style and vibe of the game. But it's fully voice acted, really well fully voice acted. And I would very much encourage you all. I think it's like $20 on Steam. It is an absolute blast. If you enjoyed Papers, Please, or you like kind of attention to detail puzzle games, mixed with like Game of Thrones kind of style politics and stuff. It's brilliant. It's well worth checking out. Like the princess of the town is looking for a husband. And so like, depending on who you let into the city or not, could decide who ends up being her husband and then how that allies with your town, what resources they have. And it's really, really cool and really, really funny and well voice acted and well worth checking out.
What are you playing on Steam?
Yeah, it's only available on Steam as far as I know.
It's on Switch. Okay. It's on Switch as well.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Then I want to start it over on Switch, to be honest.
And PlayStation.
I think it's on PlayStation, Switch, and PC.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Almost knocked my light off. Then I'm wrong, and I apologize. There you go. Play it everywhere. Play it on all the things.
Yeah,
Check it out.
It's definitely on Steam, though. It's $15.99 in the UK. That's Great British pounds. Not sure what that is in dollars.
And Xbox.
For you guys. Is it on Xbox as well?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I thought I saw it on the Xbox Showcase. That's where I thought I saw it.
Oh, maybe.
I could be wrong.
It totally
though.
passed me by, and Emma saw it on TikTok and was like, "We need to play this." And I was like, "Yes, we do," and it's great.
I wish I had that. And to be fair, little tangent. Haley mentioned the other day. She was like, "Oh, is there any?" She said, "Is there any romantic games out there?" And I was like, "Yes, Haley. There's a whole genre of like for the type of game she's talking about, right? Like visual novel, romancy. You can find them on Steam. Like they're probably not on Xbox or the consoles, but I guarantee on Steam you can find. Probably there's a game called Sex Party, isn't there? I was pretty sure I played that. House Party. Called House Party.
I don't think that's romance.
House Party.
I was gonna say.
I mean, technically that's romance. It's porn. It's a form of romance, is it not?
I mean, probably the best romantic game is Baldur's Gate, depending on how you play it.
See, in our playthrough, we've not had that. We've because we played it before the patch came out. So the patch came out, and then we logged in, and then as soon as we logged in, every character wanted to fuck us. So I think it might have messed up our.
You think it's taken previous choices and gone like, well, these mean this.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it might have messed us
DTF.
up. Yeah, so weirdly, but I'm hoping to.
I mean,
fuck
everybody
when we
is
play.
kind of DTF in that. Like, it's almost hard to actively be like, no, I don't want to fuck anybody.
Oh, I've done that. Like I say, I had Lazarius.
Yeah.
Lazelle. She tried
Yeah.
to. She Lazelle. Thank you. She tried to bone me, and I was like, we're friends. No, thank you.
Me and Lazelle are all over each other. It's great. It's great.
I'm still playing the long game with
Matt.
Shadowheart.
Okay.
yeah.
I
I
tried
hate
with Shadowheart and then upset her.
Nah.
Yeah,
we had a picnic, and that's about as far as it's gone. We got to first base. We hung out at a rock with
Wow.
picnic. Yeah.
That's more than
Happy
I got to.
Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day. Matt, let's talk about the game I actually want to hear you talk about, please.
All right, fair enough. Well, look, my New Year's resolution was to give JRPGs a chance, starting with Final Fantasy VII ahead of Rebirth coming out, and I am about 10 hours in to Final Fantasy Remake.
Okay, talk to me.
It's pretty good. I mean, look, if you'd asked me to explain the plot of this game before playing this game, I would not have even got close.
Yeah.
The fact that we are full-on eco-terrorists with very little conscience is kind of wigging me out a bit. Like, I don't love it. Who likes Barrett? I think. Oh, just knocked my bottle off.
I love Barrett.
I think Barrett's great.
He's an absolute lunatic.
Oh yeah, that's why I love him.
Well, that's what I like about him.
I don't want to hang out with him. I don't want him in my party. I don't want anything to do with him. The tone of the game is mad, and every kind of twist or turn it takes, I'm struggling to get my head into it and enjoy it. I feel like as well, because I'm so unfamiliar with the franchise, it keeps poking me and being like, "Oh, see, get it," and I'm like, "No, I don't," because I don't know what's going on. And so, it's good, and like the gameplay has clicked with me now, which is the important part. That'll drive me through. I do think I'll finish it, but I'm not like, "Oh my god, this would have been my game of the year." Oh my god, I am so addicted and can't wait for Rebirth. Yada yada. But I will give it a good shot. And once I finish this, and I will finish this.
You're still early though. I'll be honest with you. You're at the point where I stopped playing about 10 hours in, where I was like, I'm good. No, I don't really love this. And then there was a certain moment, which you'll get to, where it very much, the story starts moving in a direction that, in my head, I feel like you're in the same place as me. Early on, it was very much like, I still don't get this. I still don't quite understand these characters. Still don't quite understand the story. But there is a moment for me anyway where it just very much clicked, and then I was like, okay, now I'm on this journey. I love these characters. I love what's going on. But yeah, you got to remember, when I first played that game the very first time, I stopped. Bought it day one, played it for about 10 to 7 hours, and then went, nah, this is not for me at all. And then came back like you have, obviously, and it really clicked. And then you'll play the DLC and play with Yuffie, and oh my god, then it's even better. That game's amazing.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
What got game of the year that year? What year was Final Fantasy Remake? I don't know. What year was Remake?
I can look it up while you guys chat. The big question I've got while I do that is, who's best girl?
Yeah, who's best girl?
I think I've only met one girl.
See, this is how I know you're not far enough in yet.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I guess Tifa and Jessie.
So who's best girl right now?
Probably Jessie.
Damn straight it is, Matt. And never forget, Jessie's the girl. All right. Oh, Last of Us 2 came out that year. That's why.
Fair enough. But she's not she's not available in my party. Yeah, I'm hoping she becomes so. But right now it's just Tifa and Barrett, and I'm in the second reactor. That's ready to blow.
Okay.
The bomb.
Okay.
I know where you are. I know exactly where you are. Yeah. No, Matt. Trust me, buddy. Trust me. You've got a journey to come, my friends. Journey to come.
But yeah, like the whole intro was, these like eco-terrorists who've just killed they think they've just killed a bunch of civilians, and they're totally fine. Well, they're not totally fine with it, but they're 95% fine with it. They get over it really quickly. I was like, is this the game? Are these the heroes of this game? Because I'm not okay with that. So yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
Heroes is a strong word. Heroes is a strong word.
It's all great. It's all great.
There's no. I mean, I was going to say that it's pretty black and white, but there is definitely some villains.
Yeah.
Like super over the top. Like literally 20-foot holograms of evil presidents. Like, I get it. I get what we're doing here.
Yeah.
My favorite is in the original. I'm gonna say, say in the original, like it's even more cliche. There's a bad guy in there that laughs like
Oh yeah, I remember him.
And he's like, "What the hell?"
But it is interesting. Like I'm assuming the story is, the core of the story is the same as the original, and so it's interesting that game came out so long ago and was a very eco. No, not really.
That part,
yes.
Yes, that part definitely is.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's from what I've been told, because Crash and Despawn were very much like play the original, which I never end up doing because I'm a loser and I have no time. But yeah, from what I understand, and Despawn will be able to go into more detail about it, like it very much follows similar beats, but it has drastically changed certain moments that people weren't quite expecting.
Yeah. Without spoiling anything, because I do not want to spoil this game for anyone. I agree. This like when I talk about like formative games, Final Fantasy VII OG is my formative game. It's the one that got me into gaming as much as I am. But this is very the remake is very much a remake and sequel.
Yeah.
And that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, like all of the mystery stuff of like Cloud having these like headaches and visions and stuff like that, and these like weird ghost death, let's call them what they are, dementors. They're like, all of that. I'm 10 hours into your game. I need something here that clarifies what this is and why I should give a fuck.
You ain't getting it, mate.
Yeah, you ain't getting to the
You ain't getting it. Yeah. You ain't getting it. No, you ain't getting that yet. No, you will get it, but just not yet. Yeah.
That's fine. And I am now kind of feeling, which is interesting because I initially dropped off when I first played it, when it first came out. I dropped off when you got to the first, shitty town where Tifa is and you start doing errands for people. Because I felt like the pace of the game nosedived, which it does, right? It teaches you about reputation and how to, buy stuff in the store and stuff like that. I got through all that and then got to the motorbike section and was like, oh, this is cool. This is a cool set piece. I'm enjoying this. Now I'm in the macro reactor and I'm like, oh, I want to go back to the town. I want that pace again because I feel like this has gone on too long now. So yeah, it's really interesting, and the bits that I'm liking are not the bits that I was liking before, and I'm excited to get through it. I'm assuming like it probably a 40-hour playthrough, right? I'm maybe a quarter of the way in. I'm not gonna like do everything.
You should.
If you're main story in it, you probably should do everything because it's a lot of fun. But if you're not enjoying it to that level,
I'm not gonna ignore stuff. But like when this girl was like, "Hey, go find 5 of my cats," I was like, "Nah, you're all right." Like I cannot do that.
Should have found her cats.
You should have found her cats, mate.
I found her cats.
Always find the cats. Yeah.
Sure. I am half tempted in some battles though to flick it to old school mode and play it turn-based.
Check check it out.
I don't think I ever did that.
I did for a little bit, but yeah, it's interesting. It's like I say, when they say it's like turn-based, it's still kind of like modern, but you know,
okay.
It's interesting. It's fun. To give you an idea, it is 33 hours for the main story, 41 and a half for main and sides, and then a completionist run, so 100%, is 86, and that's only because completionist needs the hard mode after.
Oh yeah, I have to do hard mode.
So it's 2 playthroughs. Fine.
Yeah.
So I would probably land somewhere in the middle then, wouldn't I? 38, something like that, maybe.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Fair enough. Boys, I've been playing Helldivers.
I've been trying
Helldivers 2. Well, I've been trying to play Helldivers 2. Let's say it like that. Last night we were meant to play me, Crash, Ant, and Haley. Servers went down on PlayStation, so me, Crash, and Ant were playing it for a bit, and then no servers went down, and yeah, we were. I really like this game. Let me start off by saying I really like this game. There's certain parts of the game I still don't understand at all, and I don't think the game does a great job of onboarding you to explain how missions work. And maybe I just missed a bunch of text, which could have definitely happened because it's me. Let's be honest with you, because like, I'm on TikTok at the moment, and it's all just Helldivers, and like people are screaming about how they need people on the other side of the map, and I'm like, why do we need to be on the other side of the map? So apparently everyone is playing in different regions of like the map, and that all plays a part in its world. I didn't know any of this. I've only found this out because of TikTok. Like the game, and again, maybe I am wrong, but the game doesn't explain that. It's like talking about liberating certain areas and stuff, right?
For democracy.
And yeah, it's just exactly America. It's. That part of the game I'm a little bit confused by, and maybe I'm just being stupid. Definitely could be a me issue, not the game's issue, if I'm being honest. But the game itself is very, very good. I started playing it, didn't think Haley would enjoy it at all. We played it first off, played about an hour first of all, and it's like super ultra hardcore shooting mechanics in terms of like reloads, and you have to wait for your clip to be empty before you reload. It's very hard. It's a hard game. It's not an easy game, but I feel like it has that maybe perfect's a bit strong, but it has a very good balance between it being a hardcore shooter and the mechanics are casual enough for everyone to be able to play, right? We did a mission yesterday where you needed to jump around, like in terms of like there's a dive mechanic in the game, and these gigantic bugs just kept spewing fucking stuff at us and one-shotting us. So it was like, oh, we can't run out of the way of them. No, like you need to run and jump, and it has that great mechanic where you like jump into the side and you can still shoot. And yeah, it's a lot of fun overall. Like I said, probably only got about like 2 hours of game time in, if I'm being honest, so far. But mechanically, it's very, very solid shooting mechanics. You can move and shoot, but like that sets off your aim. So you're meant to stand still and shoot. Grenades obviously play a huge part. I like the progression system in terms of you go out, you collect these medals and this different currency, then you come back and it has like a giant like battle. It looks like a battle pass, which we would consider a battle pass type thing. It's not. But you use those medals to then buy what you want, shotguns and armor and other currency and things like that. It's just very simple, if I'm being honest with you. And I think, number one, I think that's why this game's done really well. There's a few reasons. Number one really is it's PlayStation have finally, I think you're going to see PlayStation move in this direction a lot more especially for their multiplayer games. I don't know about for their single player, let's be honest, that's where their bread and butter is, and selling systems as well is by selling those single player games. But their multiplayer games, I feel like Last of Us, I know Last of Us now been cancelled, the multiplayer, but like that would have been perfect for this because it's proven if you make a solid game with a solid loop, people will play it, and you explain it perfectly. And I think that's what Helldivers does. It's play it on PlayStation, play it on PC day one, perfect. Do you like shooting bugs? Yes, no. Yes, perfect. Go shoot bugs. There's more to it than that, but on the cusp of things, on the front of things, it is go out there with 4 friends and shoot a bunch of bugs. Do you enjoy that?
Do you like Starship Troopers? This is the game for you.
Yeah, but see, people have said that. I don't like Starship Troopers. Like that's not something I've ever watched, right? So people keep saying that, and I'm sure that's a touchstone, but it's not. The humor is definitely there for me in this game as well. Yeah, go on, Matt.
Do you think you'd have any interest in playing this single player.
Absolutely not. Not in the slightest. Anyone, like, I saw TikTok. Saw a TikTok about it today where it's like, if you're playing this single player, this probably isn't the game for you, to be honest with you.
So it's really interesting because like the conversation around Xbox and their exclusivity and the things that they've been saying, games that have exceeded their lifespan on Xbox, games that need a community to thrive, right? We're looking at Skull and Bones. Not Skull and Bones, sorry, Sea of Thieves. Mm-hmm. And so like that's what this is. PlayStation enabling kind of the same strategy, right? Except it's not going to Xbox, right? It's just going to PC. And I agree with you. I think there's no chance in hell the next 2 Naughty Dog games go to PC day and day. But maybe the third, because they're going to keep doing this now and they're going to keep seeing the monetary benefit from it. And once that snowball starts rolling, it's really hard to go back on it. And so, they've got that spreadsheet somewhere that says, yes, The Last of Us 4 is going to sell this many PlayStation 6s, but on PC, it's also going to sell this many and it's going to get this much more chatter around it. And it's going to, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. But you're right. I think it's caught the zeitgeist, Helldivers 2, in a way that I did not expect it to. It's all I'm seeing on TikTok because it's badass. It's people having fun. It's the party chat kicking off, and it's great to see. And so the fact that those servers are going down sucks for the game.
Yeah, it does.
But
that's the biggest problem right now is the servers.
So I'll give them the credit.
It shows
though.
The interest, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, go
so
on.
I'm going to say, so I saw some stats. I think Helldivers 1 at the time when it launched had like a max concurrent of like 10,000 people. This game currently has 400,000 people trying to play.
Yeah.
That's a big jump. And it obviously shows, like you guys have said, that it's a great indicator to PlayStation that, this works. Like, you give people access to these games where they want to play them, you're going to get them in. I think for me as well, just as a personal, because I was very much on the kind of like on the fence about, do I pick this game up? Do I not? And then I saw the price. It's like $35.
Price point.
$35 or £35, whatever. Easy decision for me. Like, it's now ready to download. We're ready to install, and I'm very excited to jump in at some point soon.
What I would say is if you're on Xbox and you're dying to get into Helldivers and you just can't, check out Deep Rock Galactic on Game Pass, because it's a very similar concept, very similar loop. You are just shooting bugs, and it's very tongue-in-cheek humor, anti-capitalist humor and stuff with it. It's great. Deep Rock Galactic is a game that you will see crop up on Reddit all the time as like, hey, I'm looking for a game to play with my mates. I'm looking to squad up and have fun. Deep Rock Galactic is brilliant. And it's a game that me and my mates keep going back to. And if they had capable PCs, we'd all be in Helldivers right now. But they don't, unfortunately.
There's just certain little mechanics in the game that are really smart, which is like, when do you see games utilize the D-pad anymore? You don't really, and the pure fact is you have these little like supplier beacons and other specialty things that happen in the game, right? You push LB, depending on if you're playing on PlayStation or if you're on PC. I'm on PC, so it's tab, and then it's like the D-pad of the controller. You put in the code, and it's like, cool. That's really fun. Like I know it sounds stupid. It does. It really does, because you need to pick a perfect moment to send out a resupply. It's like, I said to me and Kresh playing this, I'm like, Kresh, cover me. Kresh doesn't listen to me. I scream again, Kresh, cover me. I'm literally trying to put down this resupply. He's like, you didn't tell me. I'm like, I did. He's like that. So we're screaming at each other. And like it does. It's not just push button thing comes down. It's like you actually have to activate a code to make it happen, which gives you a bit of time. You need a bit of time to get that done, which you're right, it adds tension to the game. And it's really, really good. I'm really happy that, again, my code was provided by PlayStation, so thank you, PlayStation, for sending that over. But I'm really happy this game is done well, because I remember back in the day, especially being such a big Kind of Funny fan, right? I remember hearing Greg Miller talk about Helldivers like a lot, and I was like, this top-down game, I'm not really for me, if I'm being honest. Was it on Vita, if I'm not mistaken?
I think it launched
probably
both to Vita and PS3 or PS4. I can't remember. I don't
remember either. I could have sworn it was a Vita game.
I think it came to both eventually.
Did it come to Vita? Yeah, it did come to Vita. PS3, PS4, and PS Vita. Yeah, I thought it did.
Question is, are we playing some today?
I'm down. Yeah. No, I'm down. I'm totally
get it installed, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
If it boots.
Well, if it boots, yeah.
But Despawn was saying maybe that was a server thing, but it didn't feel like a server thing because I wasn't even getting to a start screen.
You know, but it's still part. I think it's all part of the load end. Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I had the same thing. Like yesterday, we were playing, we were fine. Then I couldn't get in. I couldn't even get to a start screen. Sometimes get black screened. It was a whole. I think it's all server. It's all. I
probably didn't need to uninstall and reinstall it then, But
no, that would be the initial login. Yeah,
yeah. It was all definitely a server issue. It seemed like, but. Yeah. I've also been playing a little game. You may have heard of it. It does exist. I've been telling you it exists. It's called Skull and Bones. Again, full transparency for anybody that's doesn't know what I do. I am a host for Ubisoft. I hosted a host and a streamer for Ubisoft. I'm like an official host in Ubisoft. I go into the office and things like that. I had someone say to me the other day, it's like, you always say it like you're something special. And I'm like, yeah, no, I do something a little bit different from other content creators. I like go into the office and stuff. So yeah, I like Skull and Bones. I know, some people won't like to hear that, and some people will drag me over the coals and call me a corporate apologist and all this crap, whatever. It's got nothing to do with any of that. Everything I say is I'm welcome to say it, and I've been told that as well. I like Skull and Bones. I think Skull and Bones is a very, very solid naval combat pirate game. Now, listen to what I just said. Naval combat pirate game. No, it is not Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake, remaster, blah, 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 blah. No, it is not the next third-person action-adventure game that also has pirates. No, this is a pirate ship naval combat game, and for that I enjoy it. Like, I feel like the fact that people talk down about this game in ways of like, yes, do I think it's a little bit strange that you have the ability to go off onto these different islands, but you can't walk around the ship? Do I think that was an interesting choice? Yes, I do. I think that is something that probably should have been there in the game, just to give you the ship is pretty much you as the character, right? They try and obviously you customize your character at the start of the game and things like that, but that character doesn't really matter. The ship is your character. Like, you're customizing that, you are building it to how you want, weapon wise, and all of that. So it is weird to not have that relationship, to be able to walk around it and be able to actually see what you have done in a third person way. But again, that's clearly a creative choice. It's clearly something they wanted to do, and that's what they've gone with. I don't have a problem with a lot of the things people do. I've seen people say the game's ugly. No disrespect. I think maybe you're running the game on a potato PC then, because I generally don't think the game is ugly. I've seen people say stuff about the water, and again, I interviewed the devs about the water, and this isn't me using that information. This is just me going off of my opinion of the water. I think it's the best looking water I've seen in a game, like, to date, which is very important for a game which is about naval combat, right? And ships and oceans and seas, and, like, you know, for me, there's a lot of impressive tech in this game that I think is going over people's heads. The way your ship hits a wave and it literally moves your entire ship, the way the waves come in and it gives you a warning in game sort of thing, but you need to get out of the way of it or it will just destroy your ship. There's so many different things in this game, which I think this is why Ubisoft kept this game going for so long, because I think you're going to see certain elements of tech that they've built in this game go out to your Assassin's Creeds, to your Motorfests, the Crews, and stuff like that. I just think there's a lot of tech in this game that has been developed for next-gen consoles that's going to actually be used. I'm not saying that is the reason. That's just me hypothesizing. But the game itself, yeah, people have said it's the Division, but with ships, and it kind of is. It's go off to this place, collect your mission, get back in your ship, do the mission, go back to this place, collect this. It's the Ubisoft formula. And some people love that, some people hate that. Me, I've been a huge fan of Ubisoft for a really long time, and I love the formula. Like, I understand that I do think it needs changing at this point, and I do think maybe it is getting to a point where we want to see a little bit more innovation, but I think we want that across the entire industry, right? So, I enjoy Skull and Bones. I've had people ask me what would I review it. I would put it probably in the 7 range, which is what I'm seeing people come out of it. And 7 isn't bad.
No.
Nah. Do I think you should buy this game at $70? Do you like pirates? Do you like naval combat? If the answer to both those questions is yes, then I think it's worth $70 to you. If you don't, go get it on Ubisoft Plus. Pay for a month of that, which is cheaper than $70. Try out the game, and then decide for yourself whether you should play it or not. It currently has a free 8-hour trial, which I would say probably doesn't bode well for the game, if I'm being honest. If they put out a free 8-hour trial this early when the game's only been out a week, not even, especially along with the Premier Edition coming out that had early access. You had the open beta with cross progression as well. If they've had to do a free trial this early as well, I've got to imagine the game hasn't sold well.
Which is a shame, because again, not talked about anything I played a bit of Skull and Bones as well. I've put about 1 or 2 hours in. Kind of echoing what you say, like the world is beautiful. The naval combat it feels fully fleshed out. So when you go up against enemies, like you it's not just a case of point and shoot. Like you do feel like you have to decide how you're going to take on an enemy, especially if you come up against like 3 or 4 ships and like balancing how you take them on. The thing I do like that I think is really cool is because it's just like an open world and it's just like PvE multiplayer is just on. It's not like I don't think you can switch that off. I've not looked.
Or PvE?
Yeah. But like the cool thing I've seen is there are just people in the world, and you can come across a massive naval battle with like 2 or 3 like player ships going up against a big boss, and you can just sail into it and help them, and then join, sail in, and then head off on your way to whatever you were doing. And I love that. Or like I say, you come up against the big ship and it starts attacking you, and then 2 people will just come round the bend and help you out. That's amazing. I have a couple of issues with it, like. I feel like I'm constantly looking at that little yellow loading screen every time I go in and out of a building, or if I disembark. I feel like that's constant pretty much for me. It's like there always seems to be this little loading screen. When you're out on the sea, nothing. It is truly open. You can go anywhere. There doesn't seem to be any loading screens, but as soon as you disembark or you go into a building or you go into a cutscene to talk to somebody, I feel like I'm constantly like, for like 10, 15 seconds, I'm just watching this little circular thing in the center of a black screen, which not great when I've played other games recently where I'm seeing like a massive open world and there's like literally no cutscene, like or like no loading screens. And it's
I mean, it was a complaint about Starfield, right? Like like why in this big open universe am I looking at loading screens all the time? And so
yeah. And like I say, but I kind of echo what you're saying. Like, I'm not like too far into story wise. Like, I've got my first major ship.
I don't think the story's that good. I'll go out and say that. Like, I'm not playing this for the story. The story is pretty. Sherlock is there, and I'm going off and doing his missions. Cool. I don't really care about what's going on in the world, but I enjoy the thing I think I enjoy the most, and people keep asking this, right? Is what do you enjoy about a game? I like how chilled it is.
That is 100% it. Like for me, again, it is very much like. Podcast. Put it on a podcast in the background. Do not use fast travel at all.
No.
I've not used it once yet. I'm just sailing everywhere. And like it takes like 5 minutes to get like from one end of the like an island to like another area. Like that's perfect for me. Like I'll do that, have a couple of battles, listen to a podcast, listen to some music maybe, which is a shame because I like listening to the shanties instead.
Oh yeah,
the sea shanties are great. Like it's the classics, just like out of nowhere they'll just start singing along. If they've got stamina, because they don't like singing when they're tired. Apparently, who knew?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, but no. Yeah, just whip them. Sing, you bastards. But no, I'm like I say, I'm really enjoying it. I'd agree with like the 7s. Like there are some issues with it that I'm having, but like not enough for it to not be fun.
Yeah, like I say, the chilled nature of like jump in your boat and sail around and shoot and destroy things, and you know, I'm just enjoying that loop. To be honest with you, going off and grabbing these blueprints and upgrading my ship, and I want to get to endgame. Like I know there's a lot to come in season 2, and I'm sure Ubisoft are the one thing you've got to give credit to where credit's due for Ubisoft is they do support their games long term. We've seen that. Even games like Riders Republic, Division 2, what's the Roller Champions, like all these games have had multiple years. Rainbow Six, obviously, and we've seen them do it before, where a game has launched, it hasn't quite met expectations, and they've turned it around. Now, I think people have just gone in with absolutely ridiculous expectations for this game because of how long it's taken, right? Like a game that's been in development for 7 years is clearly a game that's been through development hell. Like, it's not a game that has been in development with a clear idea and plan, and they've been developing that for 7 years. And I think that's the part that people, like the everyday casual gamer and obviously the know-it-all internet player, is not quite thinking about, right? Like, game development is hard. And when you lose, we've heard about this game losing producers and things like that. Like, when you lose that identity of what the game is supposed to be, there are going to be problems. But yeah, I do think overall, I think it's a very fun, enjoyable experience if you enjoy naval combat and enjoy being a pirate.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a good case study for, hey, game industry, stop telling us about your games so early on. Like look at, all right, it's hard to make this comparison, but look at Helldivers, right? They weren't talking about that for the last 7 years, right? Or 5 years, or however long that's been in development. It just gives you opportunity to build up so much bad press. If this had been announced a year ago, and then they were like, hey, yeah, we're going to do a free weekend, opening weekend, or whatever it was, however long they wanted to work that trial period. And it's all that ship combat that you loved from AC4 in a live service Division-style game. Let's go. I think people would be way more positive on it as like a free thing they can jump into with their mates and try, and then maybe get hooked on. And Sea of Thieves has been out for so long, and people haven't had anything like this. It's because of that constant news cycle of, oh, there's another trailer, or there's another delay, or there's another delay, or there's another delay. It became a joke of the industry.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just held off and not announced it so early on, maybe we could have avoided. I mean, look, hindsight is 2020, right?
Easier said than done when you don't have shareholders breathing down your neck, screaming what's coming next. And I think that's the hard part, right? Is I agree with you wholeheartedly. I always thought the Bethesda way of doing things was amazing, like in terms of like what they did with Fallout and things like that. Yeah. But like, and the game is out in 6 months. You're like, fuck yes, love this. But in the same breath, some games, games are very different to films, right? Some games need a bigger and longer push. I do agree, obviously, 7 years is a very long time to be promoting a game. And I do agree that's what's been the game's biggest hindrance, right? Is why did it take so long? Like, why did it take so long? And I wish, the one thing I wish with this game especially, they would have got up in front of it. You know, obviously I've done developer interviews and things like that, right? I would have loved to have spoken to like a director or a producer or something like that and been like, hey, let's just have an open, honest conversation with the community that are excited for this game of like, why did it take so long? Why isn't there like for me, why can't I walk around the ship?
Yeah.
Even for you just to say, hey, that wasn't the creative decision we wanted to make. Like, we think experiencing this ship the way that you do in looking at it from a first or third person perspective and blah, 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 blah. They can give me the PR speak for it. But like, I do think it would have sounded good coming from somebody on the top. I feel like, you know, we've not heard from, we've heard from Chris, we heard from Andy, obviously we heard from Chloe, who are some of the best developers I've met, and they do some great stuff. But I would have liked to have spoken to more people about some more in-depth, nitty-gritty things, but obviously didn't get the opportunity to do that. But
I think as well, like you probably have to assume those conversations were had.
Absolutely.
It was made for a reason. Maybe, you know, it's so difficult, right? Because you don't know what the reality is. But let's say they came out and they were like, we had it fully implemented. It just wrecked the pace of the game because of X, Y, and Z. You'd go like, cool, that makes it like it's considered and you've talked about it. And I think like more and more gamers are more interested in hearing those kind of stories. Like look at the Grounded documentary for Last of Us. Crazy numbers. All right, The Last of Us is a different beast.
No, like, but I watch the one I go on about all the time is Hello Games is one, right? About about Compulsion Games, sorry, about We Happy Few. I remember watching that and coming away, bro, I didn't really love We Happy Few, but I'm so excited for Compulsion's next game, which is Clockwork.
The South of Midnight.
Oh no, Seven Midnight. Thank you. Sorry, yeah, I get those two muddled up. I do apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like because of that documentary. So I hope we get to a place, and I'm sure I hope bigger teams. Obviously, it's hard to do when you're an indie dev and things like that, right? But like, when you've got a UB, a Microsoft, a Sony, a Square Enix, put somebody in there with a camera who knows what they're doing, so we can hear these stories, because it allows us to appreciate the nuance of making games. Yeah.
Now, having said that, I fully understand. Like that Last of Us 2 documentary kicks off from when they're making Lost Legacy. Like they must have a crew at Naughty Dog, maybe 3 people, who are just there to make documentaries about their stuff, and they put out one thing every 3 years or something. Like it's a huge ask for a company to do that, and you haven't got to go to that scale of it, right? Well, you haven't got to go to that scale either, right?
I think you do. Like, I think you need 2 people, right? If you can have 2 people at the studio and it is their job to just document. Because, again, I used to watch Gary Vee a lot of the time, right? And his big statement was like, don't create, document. Because once you've got the footage, you can create the video around it afterwards. Just literally, your job is to document, which is, there's just been a big bust up in the office. Hey, I wanna talk to you right now. I don't want to talk. I know you don't want to talk, but this is my job. Sit down, let's talk. Like, I think the best part of that whole documentary was like, the part that I loved the most was when they set up a meeting with Neil and they didn't show up.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, because this is real life. This is what happens. Yeah. And it's like, you need to show that, and the stress that caused on the team of like, we've been sat here for a fucking hour.
Yeah.
And he's not able to make it. I'm sure he wanted to or whatever, right? But like, I think it humanizes game developers in a way that we don't necessarily see. We all go through stresses. We all go through anxiety and all of that. And I think it's so important. I feel a Skull and Bones documentary, I think, would have resonated with players so much beforehand as well, of like, look, this is what we've been through to get there.
To be fair, and you know, easier said than done, and hindsight 2020. If that came out pre-season 2 of Skull and Bones, and they went, here's the 7-year-long documentary.
Here's the story of Skull and Bones.
Here's why we kept it going, and here's what it is. And season 2 is coming out this weekend, and it's free to play for a weekend. Fuck, you'd get a lot of people in.
I think you would as well.
I think you said it perfectly.
Because it's a fascinating story.
Yeah, I think, Fix, you said it perfectly. Humanize the developers, because everyone looks at these games like, oh, Ubisoft have made a game that isn't the game I wanted. It's like, no, hundreds of people, like, as you load up the game, it goes Ubisoft Singapore, Ubisoft this station, Ubisoft
this.
There's like, I think there's like 10 studios, and like, that is hundreds, possibly 1,000 people working on a game. Like, humanize those people, show the people behind the game, so that when you're in chat, I've seen you. And it's like, oh, it's just Black Flag from 5 years ago. It's like, shut up. Like, this is like hundreds of people's hard work, and seeing the passion that they've brought to that game would definitely, like, again, like Matt says, like, you drop that like before a big update. Yeah, that's going to be perfect, I think.
Be huge.
Yeah,
be
I think
I'll make it for you, Ubi.
I'll
Get in touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll hide your spawn to edit it.
There you go.
Don't holler at me. I'm busy. Don't
busy.
call me.
Oh no, we're gonna do a VT with you, Fix.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I am the host. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Exactly.
But no,
I think that's an interesting angle, talking to the guy who streamed it on opening weekend or streamed it early for the beta or whatever. Like, that's a story that needs to be told.
Yeah. It needs to be told. Someone has to be in there. Has to be told.
But no, I genuinely think that's something that more companies. I think just in general, like the way that the internet is getting at the moment, the disposable nature of everything, like, put a face to things, humanize it.
Yeah.
Get people
I think the problem,
invested.
The problem you'll get with it, at least initially, and I do think it'll start to happen a little bit because of the grounded documentary, because of stuff like that, is you'll get the fake, not real version of it, and that'll turn people off.
But we need to. But those ones we need to be vocal about it being fake and it not being the real experience.
Sure.
So game companies go, okay, they don't want we don't want the Last of Us documentary and the Compulsion Games documentary. I haven't seen the Grounded one, unfortunately, so someone link it to me so I can watch it.
Grounded is The Last of Us. It's called Grounded.
Oh, sorry, I thought you. Yeah, I don't know why I thought.
No, there isn't one for the game.
It was a Grounded one. I was like, okay, like I usually watch No Clip. Yeah. But yeah, those documentaries are raw and they tell a story. And don't get me wrong, it has a start, a middle, and end. Like it tells a well-crafted story, and there is a bit of PR speak in there. But it's those raw moments you need to see with it. I need someone saying "fuck." Like
just everyone, every single one. Come on, Ubisoft, drop the F-bomb.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's those little things that humanize people. You know, people swear. Stop acting like you're just buttoned up. You're a video game company. You make video games that are meant to be fun and enjoyable and unique experiences. Like, have fun with it. Like, you don't need to be this big buttoned up corporate machine that like. Yeah, and that's kind of where I feel like Xbox is at right now. But that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
We'll get to that, I'm sure, at some point. I forgot to say shout out to our Patreon producer, Aaron God. So big shout out to you, Aaron God. Thank you for keeping the show going. This one, what are we at runtime for today?
We're at like 45 minutes.
Let's do a blinds ranking, shall we? Boys, I've got some blind rankings for you. You guys will be blind ranking some video games today. These were given in by Big Willie. W, I think it is. Let me see if I can see the name real quick. Sorry, it's not up here. I can't see it. I'm sorry. I tried. I'm sorry, Big Willie. I think it's
Big Willie.
All right, here we go. So you're ranking them 1 through 5. Blind ranking these video games. Number 1, Need for Speed.
Oh, I wanna I'm just gonna put it out there just as a number straight away. 3.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm half tempted to go 2 because of kind of the impact that it's had. You know, like I think of Need for, and maybe I'm in the vast minority here, but I think of like music from Need for Speed games like I do FIFA games.
Yeah,
right. Like some of those tracks and stuff are like
to the window,
so influential.
To the window. I think that's Underground 2. When that song was pivotal in my life.
Yeah, I remember Underground so fondly. You know, it's a big enough franchise to have got a movie with Aaron Paul. Whether or not it should have is a different conversation, but it did. You can't say that about many other video games, let alone racing games.
Call of Duty never had a game, a movie. Sorry, they definitely had a game.
Don't need it. That's why.
True. It is. Yeah, it's had 1 or 2 games.
And to be fair, we're moments away from a younger Tom Cruise having bought the movie rights to that. I would have said.
A younger Tom Cruise?
I don't think he'll do it now.
Oh,
like he's got his Top Gun and stuff now. If Tom Cruise was 20 years younger, I could see Tom Cruise buying the rights to that and doing that like he's done with Mission Impossible. Anyway, I'm happy to go 3, but I think we might have fucked ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, look, we haven't gone there. Confirm it. Come on.
We're going 3. We're going 3.
Are we?
3.
Okay. All right. Right. Down. I'm down.
Next game. Forza Horizon.
Ooh.
Again, maybe it's bias, but I'd say probably 1. I'd say like as a way to pivot the Forza franchise to a more broad audience, which racing games have kind of struggled to do. Even Gran Turismo, as popular as that is, I think Horizon is a 1.
Yeah, I mean, arguably Horizon is the better Forza series at this point.
Oh, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I am more excited for the next Horizon than I am for the next Motorsport.
Of course.
Because of the type of gamers that you are, though. So
no, I grew up playing Gran Turismo and things like that. I love those like classic, like, you know, get into the nitty gritty and build out your car and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Horizon is just straight up more fun. And
you know, how much weight you put on this, I don't know, but when Horizon 4 came out, right, it was IGN's Game of the Year. A racing game was IGN's Game of the Year. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
It was a huge win kind of early on in the Game Pass days. I think it deserves to be in that number 1 spot.
I've got no problem with that. Yeah.
Okay. So number 1, Forza Horizon. Number 3, Need for Speed. Next up, Burnout.
I'm good. See, I'd want to say 2, but I'm going to say 4 because I think I know what might come up in this list.
I exactly agree with you. And it's not because of what is going to come up in this list. My heart says 2, but my head says 4.
Yeah.
Like Takedown is so special to me.
Revenge
but
for me.
that is not what the Burnout series is anymore.
Paradise is the best Burnout game. Stop it.
I don't know. For me, it's a similar argument to you made for Need for Speed. The soundtrack to Revenge was...
oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think of the soundtrack in the same way as I do for Need for Speed at all.
Specifically for me, there is a moment I still remember is when there's a band that's on the soundtrack called Comeback Kid, and when you when the level starts and you swing round a corner and the drums kick in, and I'm just like, oh, here we go. I'm about to take down so many people right now. Oh, vibes. Just pure vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to lock it in at 4.
Okay, number 4. Yeah.
4.
Next up.
I don't like
Forza Motorsport.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Because I know what's coming.
I think it's 5.
Yeah.
No, because it didn't penetrate the mainstream in the way it should have. The 360 Forza Motorsport was a big deal. I get it. But they outdid themselves with Horizon. We can't put Motorsport above Horizon. Can't be done. Well, obviously, because Horizon's in number 1 spot. I forgot about that. But I think it's a 5.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
I don't think it's fine, but I definitely think it's not a number 2. Yeah, I kind of, yeah.
So at number 2, you have put Midnight Club.
Damn it!
Big Willie always does this to us.
Damn it, Willie!
These goddamn games.
So your list was Horizon number 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Forza...
Midnight Club at number 2.
Midnight Club number 2. Need for Speed number 3.
Burnout.
Burnout number 4. Motorsport number 5.
Damn it, Willie! You've done us again.
Not a great list, if I'm being honest with you, lads.
No, that could have been a lot better.
Well, I was not expecting Gran Turismo in there. I was expecting a Ridge Racer.
There was no Gran Turismo.
Yeah,
I know,
that's what I'm saying.
but I think that's what Despawn was expecting, right?
Yeah, I was expecting like a Gran Turismo or something.
I was expecting a Ridge Racer, and I would have been fine putting Ridge Racer at 2.
Yeah.
Or a
Ridge
Mario
Racer
Kart, maybe?
number 2. Yeah, Mario Kart would have been a good shout. Yeah. Very interesting. Well,
Interesting.
damn it, Willie. Matt, your new segment. Talk to me.
Agree or disagree? This is where I throw out an inflammatory statement. Let's face it, ladies and gents, and we argue it for your enjoyment. Last week we did Is Master Chief a top 5 video game mascot? What was the consensus you guys were feeling? Because I felt a consensus from people online that people agreed with me and Crash that he was indeed.
I disagree with you. No, I thought the comments very much were like, you guys missed a bunch of characters, which I agreed with them on. But no, I thought the consensus was no, Master Chief is not.
Interesting.
100%. And plus, my nan proved it. My nan proved it. She didn't know who Master Chief was. She thought it was Master Chef. So,
and you know what? I did say that that we let
rules.
Your family decide when we're in a stalemate. So there we go. We've decided Master Chief.
Did we see the video didn't have it, right? So the TikTok didn't end up having it. But I ended up recording myself speaking to my mum.
The
and
TikTok
my sister.
didn't, but the video that went live on YouTube.
Oh,
YouTube
okay, perfect. Oh, okay, gotcha.
So if you want to see, fixes, was it your mum? Yeah,
it was my mum and my sister. Yeah.
If you want to see them reacting and seeing if they know who Master Chief is or not, then go check out the YouTube channel. Like and subscribe.
Spoilers. I felt good about last week's.
Me too.
Yeah. Let's see what your mum thinks about this week.
Yeah.
Here we go. Line up the FaceTime. Agree or disagree? Xbox should be leaning into remaking their classic games in the same way that PlayStation is.
Ooh.
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 So we're going to go around the room. Agree or disagree? Paul Despawn, we're going to start with you.
Agree.
MC Fixer.
Disagree.
I'm on disagree as well.
Okay.
So I think then we start with you, Despawn.
Okay.
What's the argument?
I mean, good favor with the community. Like, there is so many pitfalls that Xbox have had recently where they have just shot themselves in the foot time and time again in marketing and everything else. Like, if you came out and said, we're going to make you a new Viva Pinata, we're going to make you a new Banjo-Kazooie, we're going to remake from the ground up the Gears of War series, we're going to make up from the ground up all of these long dormant titles that we've now just bought. Like you turn around to them and said, like, we've got this game in development now for you because you love them. That's why you love these IPs. We're coming out with them. Also, Perfect Dark, here's a good look at it now in the modern styling. You're excited about it right now, possibly, maybe, who knows? I think that would carry so much good favor with the Xbox community. I think it's just a great marketing decision. And honestly, I'd just love to go back and play some of those classic titles that kind of have fallen away to the wayside a little bit. Like if you did a modern Viva Pinata with the kind of love and care and attention that like, say like an Animal Crossing, or I'm going to put it out just as a recent example, the Dundoki Island section in Infinite Wealth. You put that kind of care and attention to a Viva Pinata. Like I think there is a vocal community out there who are going to love that. And yeah, it's only going to be good for Xbox to say, look, like we recognize the past that we've got and the IP power that we have. We're going to finally dig into it and give you guys what you want. Like, look at the, not a great example, but I really enjoyed it. Like Battletoads, when they finally came out and said, well, we're making you a brand new Battletoads, like a classic 2D, like beat 'em up, like, and it was great. It was genuinely great. I enjoyed it. Like,
but that was a brand new game, not a remake.
But no, but like, okay, so maybe not the best example, but Ultimate Edition of Gears of War then. There's a remake for you.
Move aside, D-Spawn. Look, the problem we have here is Xbox haven't delivered on their first party lineup in terms of new games for too long. Mm-hmm. So for me, for them to be like, okay, and now we're getting a Viva Pinata remake. Like, okay, no, thank you. I'm not interested in any remakes. Like, you need to deliver on brand new experiences that are coming to the Xbox ecosystem. I will no longer be saying console. The Xbox ecosystem now. Because at the end of the day, if you're trying to, the whole point of this conversation last week, right, was about elevating and getting in new players and blah, 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 blah. A remake of Viva Pinata is not doing that. A remake of Gears of War is not doing that. Like, if people didn't like Gears of War, they're not now going to play a remake of Gears of War.
True.
If people wanted to play Viva Pinata, they would have bought an Xbox One or 360 One or Series console, right? And they would have went and bought the disc and they would have plopped it in their consoles. Like, no, as much as the audience pretends they're clamoring for these remakes for certain titles, they're really not. They're really, really not. And Xbox needs to focus on delivering brand new, amazing, I'm not even saying good, they need amazing experiences because they haven't delivered that yet. And remakes are not going to do that. I love Gears of War 1. I love Gears of War 2. I love Gears of War 3. I'd love to see them get a remake in the same way Resident Evil 2 did. And so it's drastically... Everything I love about the games are there, but they're different in certain different moments, right? I'd love that, and I would absolutely scream like a little girl probably if that was the case. But that's not what Xbox needs right now. It needs amazing first-party games that are going to deliver on new experiences.
I agree with you. And I think for me, Xbox have never been good with messaging, and we say this constantly, and they haven't leaned in enough to what their strategy is, which is not remaking games. It's giving you backwards compatibility, and they should have. Every time PlayStation re-releases The Last of Us, Xbox should be laughing. Oh, you want to pay another $70 for that game that you've already bought twice? Why? Join Xbox Game Pass. You can play every Gears of War game with an FPS boost and some improved
resolution.
Graphics, and better resolution. Like, we've already done the work for you, and we're not charging you for it again. And it's so that we can bring you Gears of War 7, because you don't want to play Gears of War 1 again, no matter how much you think you do. Even the Shadow of Colossus, right, which is I think it's a phenomenal remake and a game that had more legacy than I think anything Xbox has, right? This game goes further back than most Xbox's franchises, was beloved but not played by enough people because there weren't enough gamers back then and stuff like that. It just showed you that you should have just made a new Shadow of Colossus and improved the controls and improved all the things and made a new story that resonates with more people now. And it had all these great ideas that it couldn't fulfill back then. So remaking it, whilst nostalgic for a lot of people, new gamers are going to pick that up and go, what the fuck? Why were people so obsessed with this 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago? Make a new one and get a new audience back in on that franchise that people loved and show them why they loved it. And then give them the option in your library to go back and play the old one if they want and have that nostalgic feeling. But making that old game that's 20 years old, 15 years old prettier isn't, like you say, Fix, getting in those new gamers.
Nope.
Modernize, make better, and keep that back catalog, which I think Xbox has done a phenomenal job of. Like game history, preserving those incredible experiences, as incredible as they were when they came out, I think is the way to do it. I'm more excited to do that. Now, the counter to that, I suppose, is Dead Space, right? Which is a game that they recently remade from, not Xbox, but was recently remade from the ground up, and I think did get a lot of new people, including myself, into that franchise. But that was a modern enough game where the controls didn't matter and the things didn't, like, all those things didn't matter so much. Which, to be fair, is a lot of Xbox's back catalog. They're modern enough that you don't need those massive overhauls, but I'd still always rather see a new Gears of War game than a Gears of War remake come down the pipe.
I mean, so would I, but my counter to that counter is, do you not think that Xbox now have enough studios to be able to do both?
No.
You don't?
Clearly not. Like Fixer said, those new games need to be amazing. We've not got there.
Yeah, true.
What's the last amazing game we got from Xbox was Hi-Fi Rush, which was in my opinion was an amazing game.
Yeah.
And then before that was Psychonauts. Both games were in development before Xbox owned those studios. You know, like we count them as first party, and they are first party.
Yeah.
But we need to. I want to see what all these new Xbox studios are working on now that they are under Xbox's thumb, because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
And time will tell. But yeah,
and I think like having the backwards compatible Xbox Game Pass library, having all of those things, again, it's a messaging thing. I want you to have a compulsion games section in there. Let me, as an average gamer, not that I am, but as your average gamer go into Game Pass, understand who this developer is, what their back catalog looks like, and why I should be excited for South of Midnight coming.
Like the Rare Replay kind of was a good example of that. Like, this is the history of Rare. Like, so play all these. You kind of know where they came from. You've got Sea of Thieves now. Maybe you'll have whatever Everwild is when that comes. Oh man, do you remember Everwild?
Oh shit, Everwild! I forgot all about it.
I think they have as well.
Like, even to the point of like gamify it. Xbox are really good at gamifying, like making you use Game Pass. Like, get an achievement in a Game Pass game this week. And not everybody gives a shit about that. No. But give me an achievement for playing every single compulsion game. Yeah. And maybe I get something special in South by Midnight, a skin or something like that, right? Like, gamify it in a way that makes me appreciate your history, but I don't need you to spend millions of dollars and a whole team, 3 years to remake a Gears of War game. Like, give me a condensed version even of Gears of War, right? Let me play some of the best bits from all the Gears of War games. It's like its own game in Game Pass. It's like a scene selection, the best bits, history run through or whatever.
That would be amazing.
It's like an 8-hour game that is all of the Gears of War games that have been so far.
Bro, could you imagine that? Of like cutting out like... Imagine like wow! I've never thought of that. That's a really cool idea in terms of like Halo, you could do that with. This is like we would go to YouTube, right? Or like need to know, and then we watch that. Imagine that in game form, which is like, and I don't know how they would do it. So you'd need engineers out the wazoo to figure this out, right? Because I'm just spitballing like you've just said, right? It's you start Gears of War 1, and it gives you like 5 of the best story beats that you need to know from Gears 1, and the same in Gears 2, the same in Gears 3, same in Gears 4, leading up to whatever the newest Gears is, and you just keep adding to it. There's an update that goes to it. It's like story, and you imagine you're doing that for Halo, Gears, like all these iconic series. That would be crazy.
And I think that might be easier to, and we're not dev guys, so we don't know. That might be easier to implement through streaming.
Yeah, I would have
downloading a whole new thing and having to build and compile a whole new thing. It'd be able to like drop you into that experience in that moment and give you some new context and stuff. I'd never thought about it before it came out of my mouth either, but I think it's fucking genius.
It is genius.
Hey, Xbox, where you at? We've got an idea for you. We'll only take like 50%.
Like I started this argument by saying Xbox doesn't have the legacy of PlayStation, right? They can't remake a Crash Bandicoot. There is no Crash Bandicoot. There is no Spyro. The closest you get is Chief and Marcus Phoenix and stuff like that. And so having that unique way to experience that franchise could be really cool, eh? Hit me up, Phil. Hit me up. Hit me up,
Phil.
Hit me up, Phil.
So what do we say? Do we agree or do we disagree?
I'm not budging, so
I'm not budging either.
I am. I'm budging. I'm gonna go with you guys. Yeah.
Consensus. Let us know what you think in the comments, as always.
Yeah. All right, let's plug and get ourselves out of here. Matt, anything to plug this week?
Head over to the TikTok where we put little cut-up versions of Agree or Disagree. I'm going to be editing that straight after this. And then maybe we'll be streaming some Helldivers and stuff. So you should maybe check out MC Fixer on Twitch.
Why me? Why my Xbox and me? I'll make Despawn stream.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man.
He's not ready for that shit.
I've got to do some editing. What the hell?
Yeah, no, I'm joking. Check out the My Xbox and Me Twitch channel, obviously. Check out the YouTube channel. We're putting out a lot more content consistently nowadays, which is awesome. Obviously, something we've been trying to do for a while now. I'd love some feedback. If you've got any feedback, positive, negative, as long as it's said in a constructive way, I am more than happy to hear it. We've got our Discord, the My Xbox and Me Discord, where we've got a section that says critiques and improvements. I would love to hear more from you guys on the extra side and any content that you're looking to do. We'd love to hear ideas. Obviously, we should have a review up soon, which I'm sure will transition into Despawn.
Hi. Basically everything Fixers just said. Do that. Also, just as a side thing, because I know, like, obviously our boss, our leader, the all-powerful Fix has been off doing a lot of guest spots. Is there anybody you want on the podcasts? Who do you want us to bring in as a guest? Let us know.
Tweet at MC Fixer at Mappy Video at Paul Despawn.
Mm-hmm. Not our question players. He died.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Sorry. Hate to break it to you right at the end here, but yeah, he did.
We might have the ghost of Crash on next week. We don't know.
Yeah. Like Ghostbusters are on the way over, so maybe they can capture him for us.
I make no promises. The ghost of Crash is dead as well.
Oh, damn! Dead ghost. That's harsh.
Rough one.
Yeah, it's over for him. It's over. Until next time, we'll love you. Leave you. See you later. Goodbyes.